Let me guess. When you hear the Middle Ages, you probably picture castles, knights, and people eating soup in the rain. Am I right? But what if I told you the Middle Ages actually had an incredibly modern collector's market? A market driven by hype, sold as limited edition, full of real versus fake drama, and powerful enough to change the fate of entire cities. And contrary to what you'd think, the most valuable collectibles weren't gold or anything like that. They were holy relics. A bone fragment said to belong to a saint, a piece of cloth, a splinter of wood, sometimes even a tiny vial claimed to contain something sacred. In short, the Middle Ages NFTs. And just like today, wherever there was money, fraud was never far behind. To understand this better, we first need to understand the world medieval people lived in. No internet, not even the I in it. Modern medicine? What's that? And no scientific safety net. Most of the time, people had only faith, community, and fear. Fear of disease, famine, war, and sudden death. And in that environment, a relic wasn't just an object. For them, it was a tangible way to feel closer to God. If a saint was closer to God, then being close to that saint made you feel safer too. Maybe your child survives a fever. Maybe your crops recover. Maybe your life steadies. Just a little. That's why relics worked like magnets. They attracted hope, and they attracted crowds. And remember, wherever crowds go, money follows. And this is exactly where the relic economy kicks in. Once a city acquired a relic, it stopped being just a city and became a destination. Pilgrims and visitors arrived, stayed overnight, bought food, donated, and picked up souvenirs. As money flowed into the church, the city grew, prestige rose, and with prestige came power. In short, relics weren't only religious, they were also economic tools. It's kind of like building an airport today. Suddenly you get a flow of people, a flow of money, and a flow of status. But we have to ask the big question. How would you know a relic was real in the Middle Ages? No DNA tests, no carbon dating, and no lab that could guarantee, yes, this bone definitely belonged to that specific saint. So verification usually came down to three things: a story, a reputation, and a miracle narrative. The Crusaders brought it. A king donated it. An angel revealed it. Someone touched it and got healed. And here's the thing. A lot of people truly believed. But as you can imagine, when a system is built on stories, it becomes incredibly easy to exploit. Because if your neighboring city is getting rich thanks to a relic while your city is struggling, at some point, getting a relic starts to look very tempting. Sometimes through legal means, sometimes through more creative methods. So how do you think the fake relic business worked? Here's the Middle Ages fraud toolkit. First, multiply the relic. Split a single bone into fragments and hand them out as pieces of the saint. Suddenly, it's not limited edition anymore. It's basically unlimited supply. Second, relabel it. You've got an old bone and nobody knows whose it is. Today you call it Saint A. Tomorrow you call it Saint B. Change the brand, change the value. Third, make contact relics. Touch an ordinary cloth to a holy object, then sell it claiming holiness transferred. Basically, medieval merch. Fourth, exaggerate the story. The relic might be ordinary, but as the legend grows, the crowd grows. And as the crowd grows, the donations grow. And now we get to the most important part. Some relics had duplicates in more than one place. Yes, the same relic could be displayed in several cities at the same time, each claiming, "We have it." How could that even be possible? At that point, it stops being pure faith and becomes pure economics. One of the most famous examples is the head of John the Baptist. Throughout history, different churches claimed, "We have John the Baptist's head." Just think about it. The head of the same person in multiple places at the same time. It shows you this. When demand is huge, reality can get stretched. While people are searching for the sacred, others can manufacture it. Another well-known example is the claim of the holy foreskin. Yes, it sounds unbelievable, but throughout the Middle Ages, many places across Europe claimed to possess it. The point isn't to shock you, it's to see the mechanism. Because even a claim like that can survive in the market if it brings visitors and donations. So sometimes it's less about is it true and more about does it work? Now, an important point. The church didn't just fully accept this. There were skeptics, critics, and people trying to control it. Because relics weren't just money, they were authority. If a relic was questioned, the power of the people displaying it was questioned too. That's why authenticity debates were often political. Who would be believed? Whose story would be accepted? Whose city would win? And here's the most human part of the story. People don't just buy objects. They buy meaning. They buy identity. They buy hope. They buy a sense of control. In the Middle Ages, relics gave people exactly that. Today, sometimes other things give the same feeling. Collectibles, limited edition drops, trending investments. The mechanism changes, but human psychology stays the same. Story, community, perceived scarcity, and status. When those four combine, fraud doesn't even need science. It only needs humans. So the next time someone says the Middle Ages were primitive, remember this. They built a global attention economy even without screens. There was hype, there was competition, there were authenticity wars. And yes, there were collectible scams. And if you want, in the next video, we can go even deeper. Relic thefts, black markets, and intercity holy transfer operations. Comment below. What should we expose next? Fake relics, fake documents, or fake miracles?